The Sunnah did not leave any good except that it explained it, so it is comprehensive and it is in no need of any newly introduced matter. Allah the Exalted said, "This day I have perfected your religion for you." Therefore Allah's religion is perfect, and all praise is due to Allah, and it is not in need that you come with any addition to it. He said, and every innovation is misguided. Nothing of the innovations has been exempted, because today there are those who say there are some innovations that are good and those that are misguidance. This contradicts the statement of the Messenger of Allah. The Messenger said, every newly invented matter is an innovation, and every innovation is misguidance. But they are saying, no, there is such a good innovation. There is such a good innovation. We say there is no such as good innovation. That contradicts the statement of the Messenger. There is not any good in innovation. All of it is odious. We ask Allah for well-being. This is an important hadith entailing excellent advices. Whoever adheres to it will be saved from tribulations, dangers, misguidance, and widespread views and thoughts. This is part of Allah's blessings upon the Muslims, that He explained the path to them and left in their midst the book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger. He left Quran and Sunnah in the hands of the Muslims out of favour from Himself. Glorious is He and exalted. He did not leave them to wander in their views, understandings, and thoughts as it was the condition of the previous nations. Hadith 29. O Messenger of Allah, tell about a deed by which I will gain. And I said, O Messenger of Allah, tell about a deed by which I will gain entrance to paradise and distance me from the fire. He said, you have inquired about an important matter, but which is easy for the one, for whom Allah makes it easy. Worship Allah and do not join anything in partnership with Him. Establish the prayer, give the zakah, fast in the month of Ramadan, and perform the pilgrimage to the house. Afterwards he said, should I guide you to the paths of goodness? Fasting is a fortress charity puts out, since as the water extinguishes the fire, so does a man's prayer in the middle of the night. Then he recited the verse, their sides forsake their beds, till he reached they used to do. Afterward he said, should I not inform you about the most important of all matters, its pillar and its peak? I said, yes, O Allah's Messenger. He said, the most important of matters is Islam, and its pillar is the prayer, and its peak is jihad. And then he said, should I not tell you what by which you can attain all of that? I said, yes, O Allah's Prophet. So he held his tongue and said, you should control this. So I said, O Allah's Prophet, will we be held responsible for what we say? Then he said, may your mother be bereaved of you. O Muad, are the people turned upside down on their faces? Or he said, on their noses in the fire, except by the consequences of their tongues? In this very essential hadith, the Prophet described the path that will lead an individual to paradise and distance him from the fire, something which every Muslim needs. Every Muslim desires entrance to the paradise and salvation from the fire. However, what is the path to that? So Muad asked the Prophet about it. This is because man does not have the ability to distinguish the path to paradise from the path of fire, except through the revelation sent down to the messenger. Allah, glorious is He, did not leave us to our intellects, thoughts and imaginations. He sent this messenger and sent down this book in order to explain the path of paradise and the path of hellfire to us. The Hadith contains evidence of the obligation of asking the scholars about issues of the religion. None should be asked about them except the scholars. Neither should the doctors nor the engineers be asked about them. The matters of the religion are not from the intellectual discretions. They are rather from the revelation sent down. His saying, tell about a deed by which I will gain entrance to paradise and distance me from the fire. This is what every Muslim desires. It indicates that paradise cannot be entered except through deeds. Likewise, the fire, it will be entered according to deeds. Good deeds lead to paradise, while evil deeds lead to the fire. So, no one will enter paradise or hellfire without deeds. His saying, you have inquired about an important matter. The Prophet showed the importance of the matter being asked about from him to turn the attention of the listeners and readers to the significance of this matter, so that they pay attention to it. His saying, but which is easy for the one, for whom Allah makes it easy. In spite of its importance, it is easy for the one for whom Allah makes it easy, because the religion, and all praise is due to Allah, is a bountiful religion. There is no difficulty or hardship in it. It is a religion that goes along with a person's abilities, without burden, laxity, and waste. It is an easy path, but for the one for whom Allah makes it easy, as for the individual for whom Allah does not make it easy, it is difficult. Consequently, righteous deeds are very difficult for lazy people. Allah stated, and truly it is extremely heavy and hard, the prayer, except for al-Kashiyun, the true believers in Allah, those who obey Allah with full submission, fear much from His punishment, and believe in His promise, paradise, and in His warnings, hell. So the prayer would be comfort to their eyes and easy for them. As for the lazy people, it will be difficult and heavy upon them, despite the fact that it is just few units. That will not take a long time, yet it would be difficult for them. Likewise, other righteous deeds, for instance, spending wealth, will be difficult for one who does not have faith. As for the people of goodness and faith, such would be easy for them. So they would spend it in charity out of obedience to Allah the Exalted. This is their condition in all their deeds. He's saying, worship Allah and do not join anything in partnership with Him. This is the foundation worship. Worship Allah and do not associate anything with Him. This is Tawheed. He did not suffice with his saying, worship Allah. Rather, he said, and do not associate anything in partnership with Him. Similar to his saying, the Exalted, worship Allah and join none with Him in worship. This is because worship will not be valid or accepted except with sincerity. So if shirk enters into it, it becomes null and void, and it cannot benefit its doer, nor be accepted by Allah. Glorious is He and exalted. Therefore, no righteous deed will be accepted from a polytheist. Allah will never accept any action mixed with shirk. He's saying, establish the prayer. This is the second pillar, that you establish the prayer, which is the mainstay of Islam. The meaning of prayer is the 5 daily prayers. He said, establish it, and he did not say, pray. This is because what is desired is establishing the prayer, and not something like the prayer. It refers to the prayer that is established, comprising of its pillars, conditions, obligations, and sunnah. This is the established prayer. As for the prayer wherein the pillars or conditions or obligations are left out, it would not be a beneficial prayer in the sight of Allah. Glorious is He and exalted. He's saying, give the zakah. This is the third pillar. It is to give the charity Allah has enjoined regarding property, and it is the match of the prayer. It is an estimated amount given to the poor and needy, and the 8 categories Allah. Glorious is He and exalted.